Immigration process is very complicated. It requires all the forms must be correctly filled out and submitted. Today I will show you how to complete the form I-129F, Petitions for a Fiancé. Now we are going to fill out the form I-129F. You see here the form, my mouse, form I-129F from the USCIS. You can check it out from uscis.gov website. Remember always to expire the form version's expire date, because if you use the old version, the outdated versions, your petition may be rejected. So on the first top of the form, the caption here, you don't have to worry, because that's for the USCIS use only. You all have to worry about this. Part 1, information about you. It's very clear, easy. Start from here. They don't ask you to start up here. You don't have to worry about here. Start from here. Type or print in black ink. If you type, it's okay. But if you write it out, you print it out, it must be in black ink. So the first part is information about you. When I say you, it means the person who are here in the United States, who is the petitioner, submitting it form to petition your fiancé from overseas. So when I mean you, it means the petitioner. So this information about you, alien number. If you are the naturalized citizen, you have this number. If you are born here, if you were born here, you don't have this number. You don't have to worry about that. USCIS online account number, most of the time you don't have it if you never open an account with the USCIS. So you also don't have to worry about that. And you have to put your social security number here. I just use the dummy number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but that's not my number. And my alien number also the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The next part is select one box to indicate the classification you are requesting for your beneficiary, your fiancé, male or female in overseas. So you have to check the box here, 4A, not 4B, never and never. 4A, fiancé, K1 visa, never touch this. K3, I will discuss with K3 in a different topic. So the next part is your full name, easy. Your first name, your last name first. They put the last name first, and your current name, your given name, and your middle name. So my last name, my first name, my middle name. On the right column of the form, this form, the way they organize it, they put two sides, left and right. So you have to go down, complete the left side first, and go back up, complete the right side. Order name used. This name used, if you are a lady, a woman, you may have the marriage name from the previous marriage, or different name, or you may have the name that you change during the court process. So you can put it here. So I changed my name to Peter. So this is my original name. So I put my last name, my first name, my middle name here. Your mailing address, very important. You have to use your correct mailing address. And remember, whenever you change, you have to notify the USCIS your new address. Otherwise, the mail will not deliver to your new address. So this is your address. I put it here, easy. And they have the question, is this mailing address the same with your physical address? You can have option to use your mailing address from different address with your physical address, but make sure you are able to receive mail from USCIS. Again, mailing address, you have to make sure it's your current and correct address. So that is the first page. There are 13 pages. So I just finished the first page, and we are going to a second page. Part 1, continue. Your address history. USCIS require you to provide them 5-year 5-year history. So if your current address is 5 years or longer, you just put one address right here, physical address 1. But if it's more than, if in last 5 years you live in multiple places, you have to provide all the address you've been living. Physical address number 2, number 3, and down the road. So for example, I put here's my current address 2016 Walden Boulevard in San Leandro. My state is California, not city. City, I don't know what state is that city. And zip code, the country is United States, and I live here from January 1, 2015 until present. You can put the present date, or you can just put the word present right there. And if your last 5 years you live in multiple address, you have to spell it out, provide all to the USCIS. The next part on the right column is your employment history. They also require you to notify them to provide them 5-year history of your employment. So again, if in last 5 years you work in multiple places, then you have to provide all the employment you have been working for last 5 years. So, for example, I work here in TB Legal Solutions. This is the address, and my occupation is a mortgage broker. I work here from January 1, 2010 until present. It's been more than 5 years, so I don't have to worry about employer 2, employer 3. So they show it on the next page, on page number 3. See? Alright, so they done with the employment information. Next is your other information. They ask about your gender. You are male, female, check 1 here. They don't have the third box here for you check. You just check 1 that identical with your birth certificate. Your day of birth, I put here on January 1st, 1925. I'm not living that long, but I just put this number right there. And of course, I am either a single man, or a divorced man, or the widow man. I cannot be married. You remember, we are petition a fiancé. We are going to marry that person, so we cannot in relationship, I mean in a legal marriage with anyone. So if you check this box, you waste your money. It's gonna be rejected. So it has to be single, divorce or widow. If it's divorce, you have to provide the divorce decree or the judgment. If you're a widow, you have to provide the death certificate of your previous spouse. And your city of birth, I put here Hanoi, province or state of birth. You can put here if you are in Canada or in some country, they have the province, you put it here. And my country of birth in Vietnam. Next is information about my parents, my father and my mother. I put here my father name Lương, last name, my father first name is Paul, and of course it's not his name, but like Lương Paul, and he's born in January 1st, 1910, and he is a male. He's born in he lived in Vietnam. He born in Vietnam, and he's lived in Hanoi, country of residence. If he's still alive, you put the country here. If he's already passed away, deceased, you can put the word deceased here. And again, on the right column, you put your mother information here. Lương Ma, Mama. Day of birth, female or male, and country of birth, city of residence, and country of residence. Next question, question 37. Have you been ever married? Yes or no? This information have to be declared. If you've been married before, you say yes. So let's say I put here yes, and you have to provide the information of your previous spouse. If you have more than one, you provide everything. If you don't have, you have not been married before, just no. If yes, you have to check yes, and you put the name of that previous spouse and the day of marriage end, January 1st, 1995. About your citizenship, you were born here, or you naturalized here, or you become a U.S. citizen through your parents. What does that mean? It means you came here with your parents, and your parent become a US citizens when you was under 18 years old, it means you automatically become a US citizen. You don't have to naturalize. You don't have to take a test. So that means through a US citizen parent. The naturalization, and if you have the certification of naturalization in your name, check yes here. And on the next page number 2, you have to provide the citizenship information here, page number 2. So on your certificate of naturalization, you have to locate that. If you don't have that, you can, if you misplace that, you can leave it blank. But you have to submit your evidence of citizenship, either your certificate of naturalization or your US passport. You put information here, day of issuance. Next question: Have you ever sponsored, petition, or filed any I-129F for any other beneficiary? So other than this person, the person you are applying, have you ever in the past sponsor or petition or file Form I-129F for anybody? If yes, put yes. No, put no. And if you put yes here, you have to provide all the information about that person. So I put here yes, and the alien number of that person is 22222, and her last name is Nguyen, and her first name is first fiance, and the day I filed is for her, and the status is approved. So I got approval. I brought her here in the United States. I married her, and now we divorced. So that's what it means. Question 48. Do you have any children under 18 years old? Yes or no? Simple. Answer that. And I put the age right here. Remember, under 18 years old. If you have children 19 years old, you don't have to worry about that. Question. Residence. Your residence since you turn 18 years old. Either California or state, you just list out here. Okay, we just finished the part 1, information about you. Now we are moving to part 2, information about your fiancé. They call beneficiary. So they categorize you as the petitioner and your fiancé as the beneficiary. So this information in part 2 is information about your fiancé who are in overseas, waiting for you to submit this form and bring him or her here to reunion with you. So her last name, I mean, when I say her, it's me because I'm boy, I'm man, I say her. So your fiancé last name, your fiancé first name, social if any, date of birth, male or female. Remember, with the USCIS, you can sponsor a same-sex fiancé. So if you are male, there are no problem if you sponsor your male fiancé. If you are female, there's no problem you sponsor your female fiancé. You just check the correct gender show on the passport, so that you don't have the problem with the immigration. Her or his marital status. Again, one more time. Again, both of you have to be single or divorced or widow. Cannot be married. Okay, we are sponsor K1. We are filing K1 visa, fiancé visa. Both of you and your fiancé have to be single or divorced or widow. Again, if divorced, if your fiancé divorced, he or she have to provide the divorce certificate in English. If widow, he or she have to provide the death certificate in English. You can have a translation into English and notarize. And city of birth, country of birth, and the country of citizens of that person. I put all here in Saigon, Vietnam. And other name used. If that person, if your fiancé have any other name, you can put here. And page number 5. We are almost there. Mailing address of your fiancé. You have to provide a correct mailing address for your fiancé, so he or she can receive the information, the letter, the notice from the US embassy when they need to contact them. And your fiancé address, they just need 5 years only. Just 5 years only. All you need to provide 5 years, the detailed address here, day from and day to. And also they require your fiancé employment information in last 5 years only. So we finished page number 5. We are moving to page number 6. So all about the information of the, on the left column, they keep asking about the employer in last 5 years. And we go down a little bit, they ask about your fiancé parents. Simple, just put their father number information here, date of birth, gender, country of birth, city of residence, and country of residence. The same thing on the right column, parent number 2 of your fiancé. We go down to the next item is other information about your beneficiary. Question 34 of part 2, they ask, has your fiancé ever been married? Yes or no? Same thing. No, you don't have to provide anything down here. Yes, you do have to provide the previous marriage information together with the divorce certificate. And question 37, very important. Has your fiancé ever been in US? For example, she or he's been here a couple of years ago as a student or as a visitor. You complete here, yes or no. If no, you don't have to worry about next section. If yes, you have to complete. She's come here as the student, and you have to put her I-94 information. That is the arrival and departure record. You can do that on the Department of Homeland Security website, easy. And okay, we'll go down here a little bit. And we are going to page number 7. So you have to provide all the information shown on the I-94 form. So it's easy when you put out, it's all there. They were admitted and they were allowed to stay here. That is on the form I-94. And if your fiancé have children or no, you can choose here. If your fiancé have children, a minor, he or she can travel with your fiancé to the United States so that they can apply the green card together with the mom or with the dad. So you can fill out the information of your fiancé children here. Name, last name, first name, country of birth, and date of birth. Very important, because if the child is a minor, he or she can travel with your fiancé to the US. And the next question, your beneficiary, your fiancé address overseas, abroad, filled out in detail. Street name, I mean the address in the overseas in other countries different format with the US. You try your best to put the complete address that they can contact, and the telephone number, very important, because when your petition was routed to the US Embassy or US Consulate in the country where your fiancé live in, they will contact him or her by the phone or by the mail. So if your fiancé's name and address in his or her native alphabet, because we use the ABC, the Latin alphabet, if your fiancé have the different type of alphabet, try your best to put it here. For example, like in Cambodia, like Thai language, they don't use the ABC like American or other country. So page number 8. Question 51, still under part 2. Is your fiancé related to you? It's very important. In American law, they allow marriage between related relative in some type of level. I don't go deep in that, but to be safe, he or she have to be not to relate it to you. So I check no here. If your fiance does have relation with you, related with you, you have to check yes and type here like cousin. And as a matter of fact, I already I have some case to petition the cousin and the fiance and come here and the marriage. So the American law allow that, but you have to check. This is not the legal advice. You you have to double check with your lawyer. So for me, I check no here. And next question, very important. Have you and your fiance met in person during last 2 years? You may know your fiance. You may went to the same college, same high school, same elementary school with your fiance when you was in Philippines, in Vietnam, 25 years ago. That doesn't count. In last 2 years, today is 2020. In last 2 years, 2021, 2020, have you met her in person? Have you met him in person? If you don't, you have to explain. You have check yes here or no. If you know, you have to explain why you cannot meet her in person. And the why here, the reason here have to be convincing. You have to check with your lawyer how to come up with a statement why you haven't met your fiance in last 2 years. Luckily, we just went through the pandemic for last 2 years. That's one of the good reasons too. Again, this is not a legal advice. You have to check with your legal professional. What statement is a good reason to put there, so that to convince the USCIS to approve your petition for the condition that you haven't met your fiance in last 2 years. For me, I check here yes. And this question is about the marriage broker. It's rarely nowadays. In the old days, people they use the international marriage broker because they don't have Facebook, they don't have the communication, they don't have a good way to date with the fiance. But if you do use the IMB, then you provide the information here for the purpose of information. You have to provide them the information to the marriage broker. And question 62A and B is very important. So this answer, you have to be very careful, because if you don't put any information here or you put the wrong consulate, it will cause too much trouble for your fiance. For example, in China, they have so many consulates in China because China is a huge, big country. So if your fiance living in this part of country, and you have to choose the consulate is nearby your fiance. Otherwise, you choose Shanghai, somewhere that your fiance have to travel across the country for the interview. The same thing in Mexico. I understand that there are so many U.S. consulate in Mexico. You have to select the correct U.S. embassy or U.S. consulate. In this case, I choose Manila because only one consulate in the Philippines, U.S. embassy in the Philippines, process this type of visa. So I put here in Manila in the Philippines. You have to check again with the U.S. embassy in your fiance country. The next question is about you. Criminal information. If you have ever been subject to the temporary protection or restraining order, yes or no. You've been arrested, convicted for any crime like domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, check yes or no here. And we are moving to page number 9. You have to answer all questions about your criminal history. I hope that all is the question no. But if you have any problem with the law, you have to truthful declare here. Otherwise, they all know that they will run your background check anyway. And for the multiple filer waiver request, always check question 5A, because if you don't have any criminal history, you check question A. If you do have the criminal history, you have to consult your lawyer which box to check for your waiver. And the next question is your biographic information about you are Hispanic, Latino or not, your white, Asian, black, check it here. Your height, your weight, your your eye color, your hair color, check it out. Check this box. So very simple. And the last page, the page number 10, not last page, but very last, you have to check one of these box. You do complete this form by yourself, and you check I can read and understand English, or you have the interpreter to help you with all the question here. So this is really hard to interpret. So you can check one of these. If you check 1B, you have to provide the information of your interpreter. So to make it simple, I check 1A, I can read and understand English, and go ahead to sign here, petitioner signature and date. Always sign and date. Always sign and date. Submitting the form without dating or without signature, it will be rejected, and you have to resubmit again. Last 3 pages about the